You can't prepare yourself. You don't see it coming. It's just poof, your life changes in an instant. On the morning of the 2nd of August, I was in Grimsby, about 8:15. There was a knock on the door. It's the police. What do they want? Open the door, yeah. Is it Mr. Malkinson? And straight away I thought, how do they know my name? Why? He said, we're arresting you for attempted murder and rape. I went, what?
A couple of weeks before the victim was attacked, Andrew was out riding pillion on a motorbike. 2 police officers decide to stop the bike that he's on. The interchange is quite amicable, but those 2 officers then decide that he bears a striking resemblance to the description of the attacker.
They seem dead set that it's me. The police asked me to go on an ID parade. Yeah, let's clear this up. Yeah, we'll go on an ID parade. I thought, there's no way she'll pick me. On the next day, the duty solicitor who was representing me says, I'm afraid to say that the victim has picked you out of the ID parade. And I thought, what the fuck? I just burst into tears, I couldn't help it. I said, I never touched that woman. I don't know who she is.
I was asked to cover the court case. The kind of image that they gave of him was that this is a bloke who's a bit weird. He was an oddball, and that he'd been living abroad. He was a bit of a drifter, as there was no DNA evidence. It was all reliant on identification. The most crucial bit of evidence the jury heard was that when asked by the prosecution barrister if the man who raped her was in court, the victim said yes. He then asked her, how sure are you that this is the man? And she said, 100%. There was 2 witnesses that had told police that they'd seen the rapist emerge. The integrity of the witnesses was never a question. It was quite tense. The jury came back. By a majority of 10-2, they found Mr. Malkinson guilty.
I just couldn't believe it. Absolute disbelief, horror and fear. I was just terrified. For the first few weeks, months, you just don't think you're going to make it. 1 week, it drags over into the next week, and it drags over. And this slow time cycle, when nothing happens for months on end, it's hard to describe. It's like a different dimension of time. My appeal was based on contaminated swabs and weaknesses in the identification evidence. The Court of Appeal decided that the grounds weren't strong enough to overturn the conviction. And then something happened that I hoped would change everything.
Killers, rapists and other serious criminals may have escaped justice because of blunders by the official forensic service.
I thought, this has got to be it now. They've got to fix it this time. You know, they'll get to the bottom of it. They'll see there's something not right. So I make an application to the CCRC. It took them over 2 years to say no.
Prisoners write to us from all over the country. We screen those cases and we choose those where we are not only convinced that the prisoner could be innocent, but also where we can see a route through investigation to achieve their exoneration.
And that was definitely true of Andy's case.
The police couldn't find really key exhibits in the case. We found out that in 2016 they destroyed the victim's vest top, and we think probably also the other items of clothing on that same occasion.
It was very surreal. It didn't feel real. I wanted to go to the beach and feel the waves and the wind and the cold air. You know, the precious things. But I'm not free. I'm just not free. The conviction, it's false, it's a lie, it's not true. I'm not resting until it's overturned.
When Andy was released from prison, it was on a life licence. That meant in the eyes of the system, he was still convicted. They still considered him to be a sex offender, which meant he was under tight supervision by both the probation service and the police. We knew that the DNA evidence showed Andy was innocent, but what we didn't understand was why the two witnesses claimed that they'd seen Andy out on the street that night following the victim.
So I started conducting checks. By the time they were given that evidence in court, I had amassed convictions for 26 dishonesty offences between them. The jury had been completely misled. These were not honest people.
Okay, Andy, it's here.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's open it. Here we go. It's opening.
Dear appeal, find attached details of the decision. To be fair. Hey!
Well done.